In the gay town of Leppingville, I bought her 4 books of comics, a box of candy, a box of sanitary pads, 2 Cokes, a manicure set, a travel clock with a luminous dial, a ring with a real topaz, a tennis racket, roller skates with white high shoes, field glasses, a portable radio set, chewing gum, a transparent raincoat, sunglasses, some more garments, swooners, shorts, all kinds of summer frocks. At the hotel we had separate rooms, but in the middle of the night she came sobbing into mine, and we made it up very gently. You see, she had absolutely nowhere else to go. It was then that began our extensive travels all over the States. To any other type of tourist accommodation, I soon grew to prefer the functional motel. Clean, neat, safe nooks, ideal places for sleep, argument, reconciliation, insatiable illicit love. At first, in my dread of arousing suspicion, I would eagerly pay for both sections of one double unit, each containing a double bed. I wondered what type of foursome this arrangement was ever intended for, since only a Pharisaic parity of privacy could be attained by means of the incomplete partition dividing the cabin or room into 2 communicating love nests. By and by, the very possibilities that such honest promiscuity suggested, 2 young couples merrily swapping mates, or a child shamming sleep to ear-witness primal sonorities, made me bolder, and every now and then I would take a bed and cot or twin-bed cabin, a prison cell of paradise, with yellow window shades pulled down to create a morning illusion of Venice and sunshine, when actually it was Pennsylvania and rain. We came to know Nukonum, to use a Flaubertian intonation, the stone cottages under enormous Chateaubriandesque trees, the brick unit, the adobe unit, the stucco court, on what the tour book of the Automobile Association describes as shaded or spacious or landscaped grounds. The log kind, finished in knotty pine, reminded Lo, by its golden brown glaze, of fried chicken bones. We held in contempt the plain whitewashed clapboard cabins with their faint sewerish smell, or some other gloomy self-conscious stench, and nothing to boast of except good beds, and an unsmiling landlady always prepared to have her gift, well, I could give you, turned down. Nukonum, this is royal fun, the would-be enticements of their repetitious names. All those sunset motels, U-beam cottages, Hillcrest courts, Pine View courts, Mountain View courts, Skyline courts, Park Plaza courts, Green Acres, Max courts. There was sometimes a special line in the write-up, such as, children welcome, pets allowed, you are welcome, you are allowed. The baths were mostly tiled showers, with an endless variety of spouting mechanisms, but with one definitely non-Laodicean characteristic in common, a propensity, while in use, to turn instantly beastly hot or blindingly cold upon you, depending on whether your neighbour turned on his cold or his hot to deprive you of a necessary complement in the shower you had so carefully blended. Some motels had instructions pasted above the toilet, on whose tank the towels were unhygienically heaped, asking guests not to throw into its bowl garbage, beer cans, cartons, stillborn babies. Others had special notices under glass, such as things to do. Riding. You will often see riders coming down the main street on their way back from a romantic moonlight ride. Yeah, often at 3 a.m., sneered unromantic Lo. Nukonum, the various types of motor court operators, the reformed criminal, the retired teacher and the business flop among the males, and the motherly, pseudo-ladylike and madamic variants among the females. And sometimes trains would cry in the monstrously hot and humid night with heart-rending and ominous plangency, mingling power and hysteria in one desperate scream. We avoided tourist homes, country cousins of funeral ones, old-fashioned, genteel and showerless, with elaborate dressing tables in depressingly white and pink little bedrooms, and photographs of the landlady's children in all their inn-stars. But I did surrender now and then to Lo's predilection for real hotels. She would pick out in the book while I petted her in the parked car in the silence of a dusk-mellowed, mysterious side road, some highly recommended lake lodge which offered all sorts of things magnified by the flashlight she moved over them, such as congenial company, between meals snacks, outdoor barbecues, but which in my mind conjured up odious visions of stinking high school boys in sweatshirts and an ember-red cheek pressing against hers while poor Dr. Humbert, embracing nothing but 2 masculine knees, would cold humour his piles on the damp turf. Most tempting to her, too, were these colonial inns, which, apart from gracious atmosphere and picture windows, promised unlimited quantities of food. Treasured recollections of my father's palatial hotel sometimes led me to seek for its like in the strange country we travelled through. I was soon discouraged. But Lowe kept following the scent of rich food ads, while I derived a not exclusively economic kick from such roadside signs as Timber Hotel, Children Under 14 Free. On the other hand, I shudder when recalling that soi-disant high-class resort in a Midwestern state which advertised "Raid the Icebox, Midnight Stacks," and, intrigued by my accent, wanted to know my dead wife's and my dead mother's maiden names. A 2 days' stay there cost me $124. And do you remember Miranda, the other ultra-smart robber's den, with complimentary morning coffee and circulating ice water, and no children under 16? No Lolitas, of course. Immediately upon arrival at one of the plainer motor courts which became our habitual haunts, she would set the electric fan a-whir or induce me to drop a quarter into the radio, and she would read all the signs and inquire with a whine why she could not go riding up some advertised trail or swimming in that local pool of warm mineral water. Most often, in the slouching, bored way she cultivated, Lowe would fall prostrate and abominably desirable into the red spring chair or a green chaise longue, or a steamer chair of striped canvas with footrest and canopy, or a sling chair, or any other lawn chair under the garden umbrella on the patio, and it would take hours of blandishments, threats, and promises to make her lend me for a few seconds her brown limbs in the seclusion of the $5 room before undertaking anything she might prefer to my poor joy.